Good. Go f yourself.
What was it? I busted a fat nut in the vegetable drawer.
Yeah, you
I think
did.
it's just like-
That's right. Welcome back to Podcast the Hero. We have another Fanisode this week because the band is on tour. Where are they? Does anybody know where they are?
Not
Philly?
No,
They will be in Philly Saturday.
and Baltimore's tomorrow.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, they're off tonight.
Yeah, I think they're in Maryland
Today's
tonight.
an off day. Today's a travel day.
I thought Baltimore was last night.
Was it?
I thought Atlanta
if
was
only there was
coming
some
up.
way for us to look up this information.
I know Atlanta just
Well, there
passed.
is a way for us to look up this information. It's called Cornbot. If you go onto the Protest the Hero Discord, you can use our sponsor, Cornbot, to see where Protest the Hero is playing right this moment. They're probably sitting on a bucket roasting marshmallows in a Walmart parking lot right now. But, you know, you can find out where they played last night. You can find out where they're playing tomorrow, and you can find out who's going to that show so that you can go and have a nice, awkward conversation with them. And say, hey, you've never seen my face before, but I'm that one avatar of like the flashlight jizzing, and that's me. Yeah, hey. Well, I'm going to go back and hang out with my pals. See ya. Go protest. This episode is also brought to you by our patrons, Mitch, Aaron, Viva Hate, I am Dimitri, and the world is my sack, Maddie G, Allie, Benjamin, Taylor, Dave the Film Guy, Jake, Bob, Josh, in Steven Exposure, Progtoff. I pay for Patreon to make up for all the pirating I did in my 20s. Julia, Toyboat, the Fat Brown Kid, Foolish Bale, Fi or Fee or Fo or Fum, Fitzy's breath smells like cum, raging rodents and drinking from sinks, Rhodey loves all our dinks, Brett Boss Blackwood, Yes, I Be a Newfoundlander by Spit Goth, yo, absolutely the best podcast of work in progress, Rhodey's Road Raging Rodent, Rhodey's Road Raging Rodent, I apologize, Sebastodon, TBJ's Pug Sandwiches, woof woof, I Swallow Cum, Source the Odd is the result of a spray fart, come to New Brunswick, Rob the Anti-Human just wanted to make this part of the show a bit longer, I love you, Peggy Thrill, Fritzy, please read my username in a high voice. No, don't read that part out loud, you goof. Here it is, Todd.
That one's the best. That one's really good.
23 hamsters, Firefee, a common thread. I, Fritzy, would rather be interviewing the Arkells. Zane, Rhodey loves my dink. Boat toy, a boot. Deconomist, I have to apologize to Blue because I had fish soup for dinner and it was fantastic. He was right all along. Zach, the final Dan, Cage Pandas, Cornman, Jeffrey, Mason Bailey, Terror Billy Jean. Gotta go to the second page. Yuri, Fruit, Ashwin, and High Tops. Holy shit. This is my favorite. We could just end the show right now. It should just be, this is just us reading the list of patrons. End of podcast. It is the best part of the entire show. So we're here with a whole bunch of people. We have Jesse of Refrigerator fame. We got Brett Boss Blackwood. We got In Steven Exposure and Julia both here. We got the motherfucking Yeti. I assume it's the motherfucking Yeti.
Yeah,
It's not like
it's not like
Matthew Fitzgerald Yeti.
you guys related?
Space Cadet and Skip. Old Skip. How was the Louisville show, Skip?
Well, it was great. I had a really
Were
good
you just did it just make your whole day?
It sure did.
That's awesome. So we're gonna do a little round, go around the table kind of thing. Talk about what is your PTH record? What is the one that you own that it speaks to you the most, and why? And also, why do the other PTH records suck so bad? Why are they just terrible? All the other ones. They are. They're just so bad. It's like they didn't even try.
Why would they
all
do
of
that
the
to
other
us?
ones.
Why would
What?
they put out such
I know
garbage for us to
just
listen
drivel.
to
It's just so hard.
and
least they're
pay for them?
consistent.
I know. I have all these vinyls of all these records I don't like. It's rough. It's real rough. I'll go first. So I think we've talked about this before. My protest record is Volition. So like this Volition tour is hitting all those the sweet spots. It's
But
because
why?
it's because it was the first record of theirs that I heard. My I always call him my little brother. He is a man in his 40s at this point. But he was like, dude, you got to hear this. And like at the time, I was probably listening to like a lot of Jimmy Eat World and that kind of stuff. And I wasn't really into anything progressive too much. And then he played Volition, and I went, oh, that's real interesting. I didn't know you could make those noises with the guitar that fast. That's pretty cool. And I just got hooked. Like, it was incredible. And then not too long after I first heard Volition is when Pacific Myth came out. And then there was that little riff at the beginning of Cold Water where he just does this like 3 variations on a bend. And I was just like, that's not real. And they've been like my favorite band ever since. So that's me. That's Volition is the one. Also I think like hearing Plato's and the lyrical content of Plato's was like, oh shit, this is serious too. Like it's serious and meaningful and not just like virtuoso musicians showing off how good they are at their instruments, but it fucking means something. Like they're saying something. And that too was like a kind of game changer for me. So I'm just gonna let whoever wants to go next go next. I'm not gonna force anybody to go because you don't like to be put on the spot. So
I do have a question for you, Fritz.
Oh shit!
So this would have been like 2015, 2016 when you got into it, right?
No, this would have been, when did Volition come out?
13.
13.
13?
Yeah, this would have been like 2014.
Okay. So you're listening to Volition
A lot.
on repeat
A lot.
for like 2 years.
Like
or
a
whatever.
ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
Like a stupid amount of Volition. But also like the older stuff too, right? Going back into the catalog and going, okay, yeah, I get it. I like it. But I would just keep coming back to Volition. I went through some phases where like for a year, I just listened to like one record at a time. So for like one period, it was just Trainwreck by Boys Night Out. That's all I listened to, just over and over. And this probably has something to do with like my anxiety and like wanting to be with things that like are familiar. It's probably the reason why I've watched New Girl like 100
It
times.
checks out.
Right? Like the familiarity. You can ask my wife when we first got together. I couldn't go to sleep without having an episode of The West Wing on, and that lasted for 5 years.
Jesus.
So
Is that show
Long-ass
any
episode.
oh, it's fantastic, dude. It's so good. The best drama television show that's ever been on TV.
good? Compared to like The Wire?
Yep,
You say it's better?
better,
Wow.
better than everything.
You said that like season 4 or 5 of The Wire didn't fall off.
What? You're
I love
Crazy.
it. We're gonna fight.
You're crazy.
We're gonna fight over The Wire. This
All
is
right.
this is now the
You're
Wire
crazy.
podcast. Does anybody
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Is there a The Wire podcast?
Probably.
Can we go to switch teams? Join them now.
Probably.
I'm very underqualified. I don't know what you're on about.
So who wants to talk about their record?
I'll go because I have similar, not time period, but similar habits with
Yes.
albums. I initially listened to Keziah, and then Keziah just like stayed in my CD player forever. And then eventually Fortress came out, and that stayed in my CD player forever. And I learned how to play everything on drums for 3 years. And then Skrillex came out, and at that point, I had already gotten all of my friends into Protest the Hero, or like my friends that listen to heavier music. And we were all like I'd say like late teens, early 20s, and we were just kind of getting our freedom from college and whatnot. And then Skrillex came out, and all of us lost our shit over that album. And we they like came to town, they came to DC, and we went to the show as like a big group. And it was the venue fucking sucks. Like all DC venues are bad. I'm sorry if anyone listening works at them, but I mean the Black Cat's okay. Or the Rock and Roll Hotel is also okay. But anyway, yeah. So for me, it's Skrillex, just because of that time period of being with my friends, and like the song Tandem, like Tandem and Tapestry both. If you guys are Star Trek fans, like Tapestry is just an incredible episode, and the fun things that Rhodey kind of weaves into the song and the episode, and like what it means for the band. It's just like it's too good.
Do you think maybe Rhodey also has similar tendencies about like anxiety and familiarity, and why there's so
Probably.
much Star Trek, and that's like his favorite show and all he ever watches?
Probably.
So Skrillex, which, by the way, the Reddit, the PTH Reddit voted that the worst Protest the Hero record.
Yeah, wasn't C'est La Vie like the best song or something like that though? Or no, it was like
maybe.
Blood Meat or something.
Yeah, probably.
It's Blood Meat.
Yeah, I don't
It's
go on
definitely
Reddit. So.
Blurp meat. Yeah, so you have very differing opinion from everyone else.
It's one of those things where each album is so incredible. And of course, Rhodey's gonna listen to this and be like, "Oof, this guy's jerking me off." But it's one of those things where like each one is so incredible, but that one hit a specific point in my life that I like to think back on and like, man, I could have taken on the world at that point.
Yeah.
And now I'm old and decrepit and falling apart and dying.
Just wait till you get to be my age when you're old and decrepit and falling apart, Jesse.
I'm not far behind.
Yeah, you're far enough behind. That's a lot like Hanging Tough for me. New Kids on the Block hit me like right at that time in my life. Like I was 9 years old, and no, I'm just fucking around. That was just for Jenny. All right, who else?
I'll go.
Skip,
Go
do you
ahead.
want to make fun of
Okay.
Jesse's choice first?
Please do.
I don't
Or
know.
are you going to say Skrillex as well?
No.
It would be hilarious if everybody said Skrillex.
So
I should have planned that.
mine is Keziah. It's probably because one of my friends introduced me to it, like back in probably 2006, 2007, something like that. And it was just, I don't know, it was different than all the other music I was listening to at the time.
Yeah. Protest is different than everybody.
But because I don't know, it feels like for me it's a perfect record. Just the fact that it's like a concept record, and also it's incredible, like musically.
Yeah. Like I think concept albums get kind of a bad rap from people who aren't into the types of music that would make concept albums. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they made a concept album. Ew. But like some of my favorite records are concept records. Like Rush made concept albums, and Trainwreck is a concept album, and like even Palimpsest is a concept album,
Yeah.
really, right? You know what I mean? Like,
That'd be number 2 for me. Palimpsest is actually like probably one of my second favorite.
yeah, Palimpsest. All right, who's next?
Well, I mean, I guess from there, I'll say that Palimpsest is kind of my favorite album. That was really the first album that I sat down and just listened to from start to finish. And it was still like when all the COVID stuff was going on. So, I mean, with my job, I'm sitting in a truck 10, 12 hours a day by myself. So throwing on that album just over and over and over, like it kind of took Protest from being just I have a few songs from this album, a few songs from that album, to, okay, wait, this whole thing together is better than any just one thing on its own. Then I started diving into everything else. So, I mean, I knew them, I liked them, but that album kind of took it to the next step for them to make it, the albums on their own are their own kind of masterpieces.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah, I did the same thing with Palimpsest when it came out. I got in my car and I just drove out into some cornfields and drove around on back roads so I could listen to the whole thing in order in my car.
Yeah.
And just did that. The only other album I did that with was Trainwreck. I bought it on CD at Best Buy, took it out to my car, sat in the parking lot of the Best Buy, and listened to the entire thing until I left after it was done. Like, I finished it and then left the Best Buy parking lot and went home.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I did
Sounds like
that.
a good time.
Yeah, you did that too?
I did something similar with Amnesiac by Radiohead,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a cold winter night and it was snowing, and I was like, I like driving in the snow, so that's what I was doing. And yeah, that was not the great space to be in to listen to Amnesiac by Radiohead if you've ever listened to it. It's a very difficult and heady album to listen to, but it's a very good one. But yeah, it's fun.
There's something about driving and listening to something for the first time. I don't know. There's just something about that. It's such a good feeling. I love it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why you find
I think
those
also
cornfields.
we listen to so much stuff like on headphones or just like on our phones or whatever, that like stuff in stereo, we don't get a lot of stuff in stereo anymore. And like a car is a great place to hear something in stereo and get both sides. So yeah,
No,
anyway.
it's more immersive almost.
Yeah.
Funny. The only Protest album that I own on CD is Palimpsest.
You own that on CD?
Yep. I bought it when it came out.
I don't know that I know I have a lot of CDs. I don't know if I could find them.
I've got.
Like, that's
I've
the
got like
saddest thing to me.
I have one CD. It came in a calculated use of sound.
That's pretty sick.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Who else? Who else has got a
Uh,
PTH record?
I guess my album
Julia's
would be
gonna go.
yeah. My album would be Volition. So as you read, and I got second place. I'm a new fan. I've only gotten into Protest, I would say, in the last year. And I was actually into Rhodey's solo work before I was into Protest, because I bought him a cameo for Christmas. Found
That's awesome.
his solo work with like Hey Roddy and Muscle Beach Eat Shit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Classics.
the Volition tour came out. I'm like, all right, here, let's get tickets. Let's go for it. I started listening to Protest then, after I got tickets. And yeah, so it's pretty recent. And every song on Volition is, as you guys said, it's a masterpiece. Everything has a deeper meaning to it, and it's beautifully written. I hate every other album because I haven't listened to them yet. They all suck. Fuck you, Rhodey.
I love it. There.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
If you are so interested in Rhodey's solo work, check out his Bandcamp.
I tried to. I
If you
can't find
haven't
it
already.
online.
On Bandcamp,
On
RhodeyWalker.bandcamp.com.
Oh, and
Oh, go ahead.
he's really into Velocicopter.
I'm also very into Velocicopter.
You're
If
on
you would like to
part
listen to
3.
Velocicopter, it is also on Bandcamp. But there is the Twitch Sessions Volume 1 that is also on Bandcamp, which
Found
includes Jesse in the Fridge.
Wait, what?
So
Jesse in the fridge.
Oh,
that's a classic.
Oh.
If you haven't enjoyed Jesse in the Fridge, enjoy Jesse in the Fridge. It's a classic Rhodey Walker smash solo hit. I think it's got like 7 billion plays on Spotify.
Dude's a genius.
all
It's
right.
it's real good.
The story of that song is really interesting, and I want to put it on record that the person that chose to write that song, because Rhodey was doing like a giveaway of songs that day or whatever, because he was trying to write like a song a night when he was doing Twitch, and the person who won like couldn't, or they didn't come up, or they came up with one concept and they couldn't, like Rhodey was like, no, that's like a little bit too much or whatever, and then eventually he was just like, fuck it, like, because I was also in the chat. He's like, Jesse jerking off on top of a fridge, and Rhodey just like ran with it. I feel so bad because I can never remember that person's name. But if you're out there, guy, thank you. It's like such a wonderful gift for me to have this silly song. And like a fun little like trivia. People are like, oh, tell me about yourself. I'm like, I have my favorite band wrote a song about me. It's about me doing terrible things to appliances. But yeah,
Thank you.
wanted to put that on record.
What
It also is not a true story. Also, for the
Lies.
record, it's not a true
Lies.
story.
You gave me Star Trek
Lies.
recommendations, and if this is true about the fridge thing, I don't think we can talk anymore.
It's 100% true. Jesse
Oh,
in
right,
the
that
Fridge.
was you. We were talking about
Yeah.
Star Trek. I forgot.
I got to episode 3 of the original series with that really horny teenage boy. That was really weird, man. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm still into
TV
it.
sensibilities in the 60s was weird.
Oh, yeah. You can't hit women like that.
They're
Like that.
like that.
No, that's like
Other
a
ways
direct
you
quote
can.
from the show.
Oh, was that? Is that the
Yes.
direct?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You can't hit women that way.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Anyway.
Who has a record?
I mean, I'll be the basic bitch and I'll say Fortress. Because someone has to.
Fine.
I mean, but it's the same story as like everyone else, where it's like that's the album I found them through.
Yeah.
So like it made the biggest impact. But like I'll say that like I mean, obviously I could only go back to Keziah and Calculated Use of Sound. But this is like 2009, I guess, when I found it. So like you don't have like Spotify. I guess
Yeah.
YouTube is in its infancy, so there's no going back easily and like, oh yeah, this band has like all this stuff I can listen to.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, I was a weird fucking kid. I grew up listening to like ska music and industrial, so I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah, didn't have a whole lot of friends in middle school. Let's put it that way. But like it was heavy and like aggressive, but there's this like really intricate, I mean, narrative. It's
Yeah.
maybe not storytelling, but Eric's lyrics were always so poetic and expressive. So you end up with just like this, I mean, still very grandiose concept album, but it's eloquent and like beautiful. But then you've got just the tones coming out of like the guitars where they're like a little crunchy, but like, really distorted. There's like the synthy horn stab. You've got like layered in like female vocals and stuff. And it was just like, wow, this is fucking immaculate. It like stuck with me for a while, but it was like, oh, this is like my favorite album for like however many years. And I finally started going back and like listening to their older albums. At that point, it's probably like, I guess Volition was probably out. It was just like, I didn't really like them as much as the other ones. And then those slowly grew on me more. But yeah, it was definitely just like, for a really long time, it's like, oh, this is Fortress. This is just my favorite fucking album. Like,
Yeah.
period.
Well, and there's a lot of people, and I mean, we blame Rhodey specifically for that, because like that's when Rhodey started writing most of the lyrics, or I should say Cage started writing most of the lyrics. And You know, and I think it turned a lot of people off, and Rhodey should feel some shame about that.
I mean, it was less like being turned off by the lyrics. Like, I think it was. I always kind of try to explain to people where like you have like Calculated and Keziah. That's like a clear roadmap. You see like the sound evolve into Fortress, and that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then like he talked about it, I think like an episode or two ago, where he made the choice to stop doing like the growls and the screaming on Scurrilous.
Yep.
And like if you took away Fortress, going from Keziah to Scurrilous makes sense. It's like a you know, the evolution of sound. But if you take that like weird left turn out of Fortress, you're like, oh, you went really heavy for like a hot minute, and then you just like went back doing something different. So to me, like the rest of the discography sounded so far away from what Fortress was.
Yep.
That it kind of like just wasn't what I wanted until like I realized, oh, that is what I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, and that makes sense. And that's like, I mean, I think there's a lot of bands that do that. And I think also, right, like Protest could have really dove into the like go more metalcore, go more, you know what I mean? And maybe made some more money and, you know, had maybe a little more longevity in terms of like broad appeal across the metalcore fan base kind of thing, and didn't. And then that's like a creative choice, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a metalcore guy. And so I know, like I've talked about this before, right? There are two types of Protest fans: fans that come to Protest from the metalcore side, fans that come to Protest from the punk rock side. And I come from the punk rock side, and so like I don't care what they do. Like for the most part, like they could do a country record, I'd still listen to them, but I would call them racist.
I was like, I will give it a half point that the second choice would be Pacific Myth.
Yeah,
but that's because I was in like a real, not like I don't want to say a real bad place, because like it wasn't like doing heroin or nothing, but I was really overworked between like 2 jobs, like putting like 75 hours a weekend. And then like Tidal came out like during that subscription on Bandcamp. And it was just like sitting there hearing the lines of why do we work until we are enabled, why do we work until we die, and just like almost breaking down in my car where I was just like, I can't do this. And just like it really at that point in my life where it's like shit.
Yeah. We have Thursday fans in here, right?
Yep.
Jesse's a big Thursday fan, I'm pretty sure. What's the one on War All the Time? The first track on War All the Time.
Workforce Drowning?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right. Like that had like the same sort of like the anchor is tied to the desk, and like that whole notion of just like work being, and I kind of give a lot of credit to Protest for shaping a lot of my views about work and what work means and what work should mean, and the way that our societies treat work in this real fucked up weird way. And I don't know. Protest has done a lot for me in terms of like opening my eyes to like look into things and understand things more. Them and Propaganda, I think, are the two bands that have done that the most for me. And I mean, I was listening to Bad Religion before I started listening to either of those bands, and I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, but I guess it's the right people at the right time, right? All right, who's left?
I'll go. Unless
right.
you want to go.
No, good.
Go ahead.
I first saw them at the Dungeon when they were kids.
Yeah,
and I was
so
still a
you've
kid.
been around from the beginning.
Yeah, but I didn't care about them back then.
Okay.
I really got into them in Keziah. Like that album was just start to finish banger. I could listen to it every day and not get sick of it. But yeah, I don't know. Back then they were just a bunch of kids, and so was I. Like I didn't notice.
That's such a fucking cool feeling.
Yeah,
also
it
though,
was-
like to see somebody that you grew up with, like seeing them before they were anything and turn into something huge and like get to enjoy it like the entire time. Like I fucking wish I knew those kids when I was like in high school.
Well, I didn't like know them, but I knew of them.
Yeah. But you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like being in
Yeah.
that scene or whatever.
Yeah,
So
it's
fucking cool.
it's weird. It's weird watching the whole career go.
Yeah.
People come and go, and it's good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I listen to them all the time.
Me too. It's like a daily.
It's a comfort thing.
Yeah, it is. It really
We're not
is.
crazy. We're all the same here.
I mean, I'll defend that like when I went to the gym like pre-COVID, running on the treadmill, I could specifically time out where I would be on like the run by what track of Fortress was playing.
Yeah.
And you hit like the upswell towards the end, and it was like almost done.
Yeah. That's fucking
I measure
great.
trips and distances of Kaziah's.
Yeah.
It takes me one Kaziah and a bit to get here.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah. I think Brett, are you
Yeah.
last?
I believe so. I mean, I started listening to them because a buddy of mine showed me Blindfolds Aside on YouTube, the infancy days of YouTube, and what you would have expected to happen to somebody that's also into punk and ska and just grew up. I don't know if you can see the Blizzard of Oz. That was my dad's when he was a kid. He made it, and I just have been surrounded by music my entire life. So finding the new or underground band was like my thing that I did. I didn't like to play sports, didn't do that. I just love playing instruments, and I love people creating things. And LimeWire was awesome just for ska. I mean, Bill Clinton, there was a lot of those hits too, but when I listened to Blindfolds Aside, and especially was listening to Mo drum, I was like, this is awesome. Found out that they wrote everything above their caliber, and was just like, no, fuck it, we're going to play this. We're committed. And that put a fire underneath my ass. And, but even though it had such a big effect on me, I would Volition is a really good one. I met one of my best friends at a wing place at Penn State, and we both bonded over Protest immediately, and then found out that he lived just right across the street from me, and we worked together, and we've been inseparable since until we had to leave college. And now I'm going to go see Protest in Philly with him and make that trek in one day, and then have to come back to Pittsburgh, and it's going to all be worth it, because that is probably one of the most memorable. That was a really long span. Volition was out before the next album. So in college, when we were just in his apartment, and he was just jamming, it was on repeat all the time. We were at work, at home, just listening. But I am one of those guys. Scurrilous takes the cake for me, man. Dude,
There's at least 2 people on this earth now.
right?
Scary thought, right?
We're multiplying. We're breeding.
Ooh.
The OG members, seeing them at the grog shop. I may or may not have been at one of those grog shop shows, and Maylene and the Sons of Disaster opened up and just tore that fucking place apart. It was awesome. Like, still got sticks from both of those guys. Like, I cherish every concert like it's a church service. That's what it is, because it's about the memories. And saw a meme today. It's like, metalheads don't just buy one ticket, they buy 2, and they just assume that they're going to find somebody to go with them. That's always been me, and that's always been the crew that we go with. Random people that never knew Protest, they drag them along, and then I don't know, it was scurrilous. And seeing that show at that infamous venue, that's resonated the most. And yeah, I just really looked up to Mo too, so having him just flex on that album, he made me a better drummer, so I gotta give it to that. I can be an
That's-
odd man out.
And like the fact that like they were like, we're gonna have a band, and Mo was just like, they were all guitar players. It was 4 guitar players, and they're like, we're gonna have a band, and Mo's like, I guess I'll play drums,
Right.
I don't know. And like basically had to teach himself how to play drums. Like wasn't a drummer.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible.
Just
Like,
respect the hell out of
and
it.
like to get like I get that if you're like playing 4/4, and you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
you know, you're doing Foo Fighters covers, but like
Yeah, I wasn't.
yeah, you know what I mean, like him doing fucking
But that would be hilarious listening to him do that, because you can tell that it was
Yeah.
not taught by, like, he didn't learn anywhere. He was just forcing some things, but repetition and just grinding and practicing it proved to work every
Yeah.
single time.
Yeah.
There was just
it's really
still
incredible.
very hard for me to play, but I give it my all every single time.
It's
I wonder
amazing.
if Mo picked up drums for the band because they were initially like kind of a punk band, and the punk beat is so easy to play.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
And you just like you play another punk song, and you just play it faster, and like that's what you do, and you just hit the right cymbals at the right time, and that's kind of it. It's really boring. I mean, it sounds good, but it's a really
Yeah.
basic beat.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was the reason behind it. He was like, I don't know, punk beat's easy. I'll do it.
It probably is. It probably is. And then Luke was like, hey, we're going to do something a little different.
Mhm.
Do this. And he was like,
I have to start using my left foot now.
What are you talking about?
ugh, that's fucking amazing. Okay. So we have a second topic for the group. And this is one that I kind of like. I think it's an interesting idea to have a fictional meal with a member of protest, past or present, where you get to decide what that person eats. And I'm going to go first. And my meal is with HK. And now I know H is a big coffee guy, right? Every city they go to, H is looking for like the premier coffee place. I think on his last appearance on the pod, he talked about like, I went past like 3 good coffee places to get to the one good coffee place that I wanted to go to, and like all this stuff. So I figure I will take him to a city that is well known for its coffee, Phoenix, Arizona. And go to my favorite coffee place, Baskin Robbins, and we will each sit down and have a single scoop of coffee ice cream in an Arizona Diamondbacks helmet, and we will not speak. We'll just sit and eat 1 scoop of coffee-flavored ice cream. I think, he loves coffee. There is nothing better than coffee-flavored ice cream if you're a coffee person. That artificial coffee flavor just really nails down the whole coffee thing. I think it speaks to coffee drinkers the world over, and so that's it. A very hot climate, nice, hot, dry, a scoop of coffee ice cream with HK is the way I would go.
Let it melt and you can do a pour over.
Yeah, there you could go. There you go. Yep. That's it.
So you said no speaking is part of the rule, right? But
Well, you can speak. I just decide not to. I don't really have anything to say to HK.
would you grunt at him? Be like, huh?
No. No.
Hmm. What
No.
happens if you sneeze, though?
If I sneeze, that's not speaking. But he would also then get some extra in his ice cream. Because I got real wet sneezes, dude.
A little Fritz sprinkles?
They're just, my nose is constantly producing excess amounts of snot.
Charge for that, you know.
So, anybody else have an idea of who they would like to dine with and what they shall dine on?
Julia?
I mean, since I was just on a Mo train,
Oh,
I
you're
could
gonna take
probably
Mo.
just start with that. So,
All
and I couldn't really think. He's a quiet guy. There's not a lot on him, and trust me, I tried to look for it over the years. Other than the like basic stuff. So the only thing I could really think of is because of Chris Adler following him. I would like to take him out for a lamb roast. Yeah, I just think he would just get a lot of protein out of that. I mean, he's a drummer. We got to stay fit. We got to get that stack in us. And but on the flip side, if I did have to pick a second one, it actually would be Chris Adler, because I'd be kind of killing two birds with one stone. I would take him to Moe's Southwest Grill. So I mean, I just figured it'd be
really good.
just as long as they don't see me, leaving with the other. Yeah, we're good.
You got to just time it out
Yeah.
so they don't cross paths.
Yeah, because both of them could beat the shit out.
Since we have multiple drummers on, is it okay to drum in pants?
I mean, it is, and especially if you're kick ass at it, then it definitely is. So
I don't agree. I think you should only wear shorts, and the shorter shorts, the
this
better.
body doesn't agree, but to beat to it, if that's what gives you your mojo, go ahead. I mean, I want to hear some breakdowns. So jeans or jorts or a panty, whatever, dude.
Wonderful callback. Jesse,
Just
are
need
you
a-
pro shorts?
Need a fan.
I don't wear shorts that much, but I have 2 pairs of jorts because I think they're wonderful.
Just
last-
for drumming?
No, not for drumming. They're too restrictive for drumming.
You wear
but-
tight jorts.
Yeah, because I'm,
Yeah.
and a kid, a nerdy
Yeah.
kid. But the last time I wore jorts, I went to a NASCAR race.
Oh, okay.
And you have to kind of wear jorts, especially cut off jorts.
Yeah.
And you have to look as southern as possible.
Yeah.
And you get to bring your own beer to a NASCAR race, which is
But
cool
you're-
as fuck.
You live in technically the South, right?
I'm just outside of DC. So Virginia is considered the South, but like Northern Virginia is not the South. If you drive like, I don't know, an hour anywhere else, then it's instantly the South and you see a lot of red, which is fine. But Northern Virginia is very different.
Julia, you had a meal planned.
All right. I'm going to take Hank to Cashin's Chestnut Tree Cafe in Newfoundland. They have the best
Okay.
grilled cheese. They serve it for breakfast. We're going to have grilled cheese for breakfast together. Specifically on the menu, it's served with Activia on the side in a little fruit cup.
Yeah, it's like it's sponsored by Jamie Lee Curtis or whoever the hell that was in those commercials.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a big thing in Newfoundland. Every breakfast comes with Activia, and it's only Activia.
Yeah, like big letters,
Gotta say regular.
trademark and everything.
Like everyone's
That
old
is
there,
wild.
so it. Yeah, I'm taking Hank to get grilled cheese.
Do they shun you if you decide not to drink or the Activia?
I don't
It's
know.
like
I mean,
a yogurt
I mean,
shake, right?
No,
it's
it's
kind of like a
corn.
it's
yogurt.
just yogurt, and like they put fruit in it. They make a little parfait for you. Like
There's this
pretty
terrifying
appetizing.
rooster at this restaurant. It's like what, 3 feet tall,
No.
and okay. This thing looks
It's
like
a 3-foot tall rooster.
It's
That's an emu.
It's alive. That's a dinosaur, friend.
We were eating in front of this sliding glass door, and it was just staring at us, scowling at us the entire time.
oh, it was chasing little kids outside and everything. Like this thing was pissed, dude.
It's amazing.
And it's
I don't know
also,
why we
like,
haven't all just moved to Newfoundland. So
So-
yeah, we should do that.
We were driving off TCH to get back to Port Basque to drive home from the ferry, and he was looking for Teutons and beans, and I looked everywhere for these things, and the only place I could find it was Cashin's. And so Steve's like, oh, this isn't going to be like some guy's house, right? No, it was like an addition to his house.
Yeah, like you just walk in his
It
front
wasn't
door
his
and
house.
sit down.
It was an addition to his house.
Yep, and his scary rooster, and yeah. Hank, we're going
Only
there.
in Newfoundland. Only in Newfoundland.
I like that
All
took
right.
me on a roller coaster because you started with grilled cheese. I said no. And then I had to sit there and be like, you know what? No, because like a croquet madame or a croquet monsieur is like pretty good. And that's like
No, it's
cheese
just
for
a grilled
breakfast.
cheese. It's just a
But
grilled
Yeah.
then
cheese.
you said Activia, and then I went back down the roller coaster and I said,
Yeah,
no.
it's a hard no.
I'm surprised you didn't know about that already, Fritzy, because aren't you the infamous inventor of the Gurk guzzler?
I am, but Activia isn't technically Gert. It's got all kinds of weird other stuff in it. It's
Probiotics.
like calling frozen yogurt ice cream. It's not the same thing. Or like calling sweet potatoes potatoes. It's not the same.
Oh, you're a Gert purist then.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's got
Like
to be
that Gert
pure,
nice and
pure
white.
Gert, baby.
He's a Gert supremacist.
That is correct. Actually, Rhodey's the Gert supremacist. He brought his yogurt on the road with him.
Oh, his skier.
Yeah, his big yogurt containers. He was like, they have a mini fridge on the fucking bandwagon, and it's just for Gert.
Yeah, and
Whole
Show
talk
Diary,
show
I
is
think
Gert.
that was on there, right?
Yeah, he loves his
something.
Gert. He's got his night Gert. He's got to eat his Gert before bed. He's all about the Gert.
This is the Activia we were speaking of.
That's sick.
I know. That
That's
was
so fancy.
breakfast.
Yeah, in some guy's house. That's what you get.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like,
Yeah, did they have
Sounds-
beer? Could you get a beer with it?
no, it was in
No, this was like at 9:30 in the morning. I wasn't looking for beer. I was looking for
beans.
beans and breakfast.
They
All right. Yeah.
no, I was once in a hotel in Victoria, British Columbia, sitting down to the little free breakfast that they had, and this British guy comes up and he's by himself. He's traveling across Canada by himself and is one of those people who is just like very outgoing. Like, I'm cool talking to strangers. I have no shame or anything. And he just walks up to our table. There's like six of us. We're 19 years old in Canada because the drinking age is 19. And he's like, hey, can I join you guys for breakfast? I'll buy the table around. And so we're sitting eating like oatmeal and eggs. And he's like, can we get a round of Guinness for the table? And so we're just drinking Guinness and eating eggs with this random British dude hanging out with us for the morning just because he didn't want to eat breakfast by himself.
Hell yeah.
It's wonderful.
Nice.
Don't do that in the States, but in Canada, apparently that's a thing.
We're polite.
Yeah. Who else has a meal?
All right. So
Steve's got a meal.
Julie actually bought me some of the like Zoom guitar lessons with Ben. So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna take Ben. We're gonna go down to this gas station in Southwest Detroit to get some tacos, and then we're gonna come back full of spicy tacos, and we're gonna do an in-person guitar lesson. Greasy
Fucking
fingers
love
and
it.
all.
Oh.
I fucking love it. Gas station
Oh
tacos,
yeah, right there in Michigan and
but
Livernois.
like, yeah.
No,
You
Yeah,
Ben?
so Detroit is like a thing, like gas station restaurants. I don't know if it's happening anywhere else, but in Detroit it's becoming a thing. Like, the best fried chicken in 30 miles of my house is a gas station like a mile from my house, and it is fantastic. You
Warm
want
bloating.
you want fish and chips, you go
Are
to
you
this
talking about
place.
New
You want
Wave?
fried chicken, you go to this place. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, who else?
I need a new answer because, Steve took mine. I was going to take Tim out for pizza.
You're gonna take
and then
Tim for
learn how
pizza?
to take guitar. Yeah.
Then get a guitar
Tim likes
lesson?
pizza. Yeah. I think that'd
love
be
it.
cool, but
I
I
feel
feel
like
like I
that's a
just stole that
doable
now.
thing.
it could be.
I think it might be a doable thing. I think, like, given the right circumstances, location, and time, that could happen with both of those dudes. I really
Maybe
do.
we're pioneers.
Yeah.
Coming up with good ideas, me and Steve.
Yeah, for sure. All right, who else?
I would take these to the melting pot for the obvious reason.
I love
I was going
it.
to say something similar. You got me.
So Jenny said, I would take Rhodey somewhere and just make him eat a whole big bowl of cottage cheese, just to watch the agony after
Mhm.
of like not being able to process that cheese. Anything that has to do with giving cheese, I am all for. I think it's fantastic. That poor guy.
We have to listen to his verbal diarrhea on this
All the time.
podcast, so we should be able to give him diarrhea.
Right, that's right.
My buddy Steve, before I hopped on, said, "Are you going to give Rhodey cheese fondue and ice cream?"
That's right.
I mean, everyone's laughing, but I was going to offer to buy all the boys cheesesteaks in Philly, but then realized how much of a punishment that would be for everyone else.
Dude, we'll have cheesesteaks. We'll man up. We'll get some cheesesteaks.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's also roast pork sandwiches, but
We'll do both.
I mean, Reading
I
Journal
wanna-
Market's like 3 blocks away from Underground.
I want to go to Philly and
I just
get
don't
a
need any dirt.
cheesesteak.
I'm good.
So, do you do whiz or no whiz?
I'm whiz with. Like, I'll admit that. That's my go-to. Even
I can
whiz
do
with
both.
sauce.
But whiz.
Yeah. All right. Who else has one? Who else? Who hasn't gone?
I mean, I'll
I haven't.
keep rolling.
yeah.
I would take Riffy. A, because like, I mean, I dabbled in playing bass in college. But B, my wife's family is like Lebanese, so like I've had plenty of Middle Eastern food, and like after his time in Iran, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure the man knows the best spots to get Middle Eastern food.
Oh yeah.
So on top of that, I would also like to ask him, what the fuck is bartering your boulder? Because that's the one line in Fortress I've never fucking understood. And I spent so many years where I was like, oh yeah, as they barter their boulders, like bulgur wheat, it makes sense. It's a fucking grain. And then I think my friend got the 10th anniversary Fortress vinyl, where it finally has the lyrics and an insert.
Yeah.
And I read it, and I'm like, I've been singing this wrong for like 10 years,
Yep. You and Muskie.
and what
It's
the
fine.
fuck does this mean?
Yeah. That's. I mean, I think we could probably find out.
I can take a guess at it. I think because like it's a high fantasy setting kind of deal, and barter essentially means to trade, and back then they used catapults. So I assume they were just shooting boulders at each other. That's my guess, but I don't really know.
Well, I think we should try and find out.
Isn't the lyric like barter the boulders and martyr your soldiers? So it's clearly a battle of some sort. So that's my
I
guess.
think
The boulder will not barter.
we should get
Okay,
this
the pedal.
somehow. Maybe we get this Rhodey to put this specific section on his Insta so that maybe Riffy sees it and maybe Riffy agrees to come on the pod.
I said, Riffy's the only one we haven't gotten on the podcast yet. So
Well, we haven't had Troop
Okay.
because he doesn't want to. And we haven't had Mo because
He
I
hasn't
don't know
wanted
why.
to.
He does. Like he would.
Well,
he
let's
did
go.
he did a Tim stream where he just talked about like history, and he was like Tim's first guest when Tim was streaming on Twitch. And like I know we could do it. And I think it's just a matter of like making the call. But Mo, if you're listening, you can reach out directly to me on Instagram, and we'll hook it up, dude.
Speaking of Mo,
Yes.
Yeah, is that yours?
so a bit of background is I'm a software engineer. I do developer stuff, and weirdly, and I'm also a drummer. So weirdly, Mo got into like video game development, and I work in Unity VR, so in virtual reality stuff. And then Mike as well. I talked to Mike very briefly about something he was working on. So both of the drummers, well, not, but two of the drummers of Purchase the Hero are developers. So it'd be interesting to take them both out and, I don't know, eat whatever. Who cares? The real answer was that I was
Eat
going to feed
microchips.
Yeah, we're going to eat microchips. Yeah,
That's it. Just a big bowl of crunchy
Gain their
microchips.
powers.
that's
Develop
right.
the hero.
Yeah.
But the real answer was I was kind of force feed cheese, heavy cream, but skipping it, beat to it.
My
Make 'em-
second.
Make him lick heavy cream from a saucer like a kitty cat.
Oh.
You can do anything you want to him.
My second choice
your
was to bring
puppets to play
Rhodey
with.
to cash-ins and then make him just eat the beans. No two-tins,
Just eat a whole bunch of beans.
I mean, he's getting
poor
protein
man's
in.
stomach.
Right now. It's a great protein.
He is the fart lord.
He is the fart lord.
Take him to Cashin's, have the
Poor
scary
man.
rooster stare at him, eat the beans.
Has everybody gone?
Think so.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
it.
All right, then I'll do my last one. Which is I would invite Tim to my house. We would sit at my bar height table. That is, the finish has eroded the way away at certain points from Jenny doing her nails on it, and like the acetone has worn like big spots away. I won't put a tablecloth on to hide that. And we'll sit and we'll look out my sliding glass door at the back of my neighbor's house. And we'll sit there quietly for 18 minutes. And when that 18 minutes is up, I will walk over to my oven, which I will open, and I will pull out a 4-cheese Red Baron pizza, which I will cut into even number of slices, eight slices of Red Baron 4-cheese pizza. I will pull out the refrigerator cold ranch dressing that will then get poured on the plate next to the slices of pizza, and we will sit and we will watch my neighbor yell at his kids while we eat the most delicious pizza that has ever been created, the 4-cheese Red Baron frozen pizza.
So why do both your meals have to do with inviting people over and not speaking to them?
Because I don't like them. But mostly it's because it's awkward and it makes people uncomfortable. I think that's funny.
The shoes on or off?
I too would invite someone over to
you-
Fritzy's house and not talk to them.
We don't allow shoes in our house, so it'll be shoes off. We
That
have
sucks.
a lot of slippers just around, so if he wants to borrow a pair of slippers and put his feet where my feet have been, he can do that if he likes.
It's very Japanese of you, Fritzy.
Luke did that once,
A singular slip.
which I thought was real weird. The first time I ever met Luke, he said, "Can I put my feet inside your Crocs? Because they're huge and my feet are so small." He put his feet inside my shoes. It's a very interesting way to first meet a person.
But did you put your feet in his shoes
No,
to compensate?
Because then they would just explode.
Hey, you are a very
just-
large man, Fritz.
It's the price
yeah,
you pay for
unfortunately.
playing the game.
Yeah. I'm a giant. It's not the best, I'll tell you.
The view is not
Being
great
a
from down
giant
here.
is not easy.
There's a lot of hitting your head on low-hanging stuff.
Yeah, lots of hitting your head, lots of stubbing of your toes. I stub my toes on everything. And also, you get asked to get things down for people a lot, which sucks. Like being tall just means your entire life, there is a thing that happens to you all the time that doesn't happen to other people who aren't tall, which is, hey, can you get that for me? At grocery stores, in the office, at home, in my kitchen. You can just stand there and change this light bulb. Just change the light bulb. You don't need to get the stool. And it's harder for me to get the stool and climb the stool and change the light bulb. So you just do it because you can do it standing on the floor.
I think the problem is the difference between the taller person and the shorter person. Because I'm not a very tall person. I'm 5'9". I'm not short, but I'm not tall. And my girlfriend is 5'2", and she asked me to get shit for her all the time. So that's the real issue, which means you just need to hang out with other giants. So go back to where you're from, Fitz.
So in college, so I played baseball in college. I was a pitcher, and all of my friends in college were pitchers, and I was like the shortest one of us.
Illegal.
I had 3 friends who were all over 6'6", and so I felt very short. I felt very small, and it was a very unnerving feeling. And then as soon as college was over, I stopped being short and I started being tall again, and everything went back to normal.
Isn't your brother like of monstrous size as well?
No, he's of more average size. He's 6'1". But Ben's brother. So we know Ben, right? Ben is a superhero. I think maybe if this is going to be real mean, but if I was going to take him out to a meal, it would probably be something to do with like Keebler cookies. Ben is a shorter dude, but Ben's brother is a fucking giant. It's
Giant
real weird.
in relation to you means 7'5".
He's like 6'8", I think.
Pretty close.
That's real weird. That's like
For you being the guy calling other tall people weird feels very wrong.
I guess. I mean, I am the tallest one in my family. Everybody else is less of a person than me.
I feel like you have the authority to talk about tall things. So
Isn't Jenny a short person?
She's 5'8". She's
Oh,
not
okay.
short.
Well, to me, she's short.
Yeah, to you she is. You are also a very tall, not tall person, Jesse.
Oh, it's probably because I'm like kind of thin. I have like a build that makes me look like a tall person.
Yeah,
I'm just
you
not.
are a tall, not tall person.
Yeah.
well, we're all sitting down.
It doesn't matter.
Let's all stand up together and Santa gets the door and we can measure ourselves.
Everybody
I'm
go
5
mark
feet
your
tall.
height
I don't want to do
on the
that.
door frame.
Yeah, but Fritzy and I are gonna have like the linebacker build.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I think that is all of it.
Oh,
So-
I have
oh.
a gift real quick.
What?
Are we doing gifts?
No, I didn't do gifts.
Okay, I know you always do gifts between you and
Holy-
Cheese, and I thought it'd be
I didn't-
fun.
That's
Uh,
amazing, Jesse.
I just want to show you my Halloween costume.
Yes.
So give me one moment to get in character.
Okay. Oh, in character. This is a cosplay.
Oh, okay.
See,
He's
like
doing a
now I already
cosplay,
blew
I
my
feel
load. Like if I knew we were doing a Fanisode, I could have held back that like chiptune remix of the intro, and I could have had a gift.
Well,
was
we're
serious.
gonna
That was-
we're
that was
gonna
alright.
use that.
Hope he comes back on
Well,
in Space Cadets.
That's gonna
banana outfit.
be in this episode. My
Do you want me to put it on?
I had to mention it before the podcast was over. I saw
What
it
did you have to
first
say?
thing.
He's talking
So I
about my
hope it's-
banana.
I hope Jesse comes back in Space Cadets banana outfit that's on his door.
I did have a corn outfit that I wore a couple of years ago in like honor of Cornbot.
Oh God,
But no, here we go.
I'm so scared.
This is my Fritzy costume.
That's fucking great.
I am Fritzy for Halloween.
Oh my God,
I look just
love
like
it
you.
So
I
much.
could
You
be
do.
your
You look
brother.
exactly like me.
All right, but are you barefoot though?
No, I got shoes on. Oh, I can't see it. There you go. I
That's
got shoes on.
inaccurate. It is an accurate costume.
Take off your shoes right now.
This is the internet, brother. I know what happens with bare feet.
My feet are bare. My feet are not encumbered by shoe or sock at the moment.
Prove it.
Free little feeties.
You want free feet?
Oh, no, don't. Ah, free feet.
Just
Screenshot.
Just a little toes.
Put those grippers away,
They're
big boy.
so freaking big. Okay. So I don't know. Are we going to be able to do this in unison?
Probably not.
We can try our best.
We each could have a word,
Oh, will that work?
No.
unless
yeah,
you break
yeah,
up
that would work.
one of them.
Yeah,
Oh.
yourself would be 2 words, I guess.
Yeah, we would do it. Yeah, we would break it up. It's 7, right? Okay. So who? I guess I'll start, but we got to figure out the order.
Yeah, are we all in the same?
Because I don't
order?
know if we're all in the same order on the screen. Because, like, to me, it goes me, Jesse, Brett, Steve, Julia, Steve.
It is not
I
the same.
just want to say, I hope that Yetis aren't fucking mothers.
Neither confirm
That's
nor
a-
deny.
That is a Forest Bride situation. If you haven't seen the movie Willow Creek, it's real fucked up. But anyway, that's for you, MF Yeti. And then Space Cadet and Skip. Is that the order that everybody else sees?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
of course not.
No.
Why would it be that?
Let me guess. Everybody, yourself is in the upper left corner, right?
Correct.
All right.
Alphabetical order?
Yeah. So let's go.
Thinking, man.
How about
There's
you just
three
shout out
S's.
the next? You go first, and then whoever goes next goes next.
I like that.
roulette.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pure
exactly.
anarchy. Eat.
Get
And oh,
Go.
Fuck.
I already fucked it up.
Should we do it again?
Yourself
we'll go one more time.
and you and you.
We'll go one more time. Eat.
Shit.
And
Go.
Fuck.
Yourself.
Good enough.
I think it worked.
Beautiful.
Break.
Beautiful.
You can also pick a picture from your
Is he C?